The rise and fall of Pedro Jimeno, from reality TV romance to real estate mogul. Pedro Jimeno's journey in America was meant to be a love story, an inspiring tale of ambition, reinvention, and the pursuit of the American dream. Once a rising name in Atlanta's real estate market and a well-known reality TV figure, Pedro's path took twists and turns that few could have predicted. What began as a passionate romance on 90 Day Fiancé soon became a saga filled with cultural clashes, family turmoil, and ultimately, a high-stakes transformation that left audiences divided. From love to limelight, the 90 Day Fiancé journey. When Pedro arrived in the United States from the Dominican Republic, he was a young man seemingly madly in love with Chantel Everett. Their love story, explosive and emotional, was the perfect recipe for reality television gold. Viewers were captivated as they navigated cultural differences, with Pedro trying to integrate into American life while facing relentless skepticism from Chantel's family. From the very beginning, her relatives voiced their suspicions. Was Pedro truly in love with Chantel, or was he simply using her as a stepping stone to secure a green card? His unwavering financial support for his family in the Dominican Republic only fueled their concerns. They warned Chantel, insisting she was being manipulated. Yet, blinded by love, she stood by him, defending their relationship against every accusation. Pedro, for his part, fought against the doubters, insisting that his intentions were pure. He worked tirelessly to build a new life, aiming to prove that his love for Chantel was real. But as the years passed, the cracks in their marriage deepened, and soon, Pedro's focus shifted from his relationship to something else entirely, his own personal success. Breaking free, Pedro's real estate ambitions. With his green card secured, Pedro sought to escape the chaos of reality TV and carve his own path in America. He set his sights on real estate, an industry that promised prestige, wealth, and independence. Immersing himself completely, he rebranded himself from a reality star to a businessman, shedding his past as Chantel's husband and emerging as a rising star in Atlanta's competitive real estate market. Social media became his new stage. Gone were the dramatic arguments and emotional confessions of 90 Day Fiancé. Instead, Pedro's feed was now filled with images of luxurious mansions, sleek professional headshots, and motivational captions about ambition and success. He dressed the part, drove expensive cars, and surrounded himself with influential figures who took him seriously. For a moment, it seemed like he had finally outrun the drama of his past. The unraveling, love lost in the pursuit of success. However, success came at a cost. Slowly but surely, the emotional distance between Pedro and Chantel widened. The passionate, chaotic love that had once defined their relationship faded into cold indifference. What began as subtle changes, shorter conversations, distracted glances, soon spiraled into full-blown conflicts. Chantel accused Pedro of becoming distant, prioritizing his career over their marriage, and losing sight of their love. Pedro, in turn, claimed that Chantel never supported his ambitions, that she was more concerned with the past than the future. Arguments escalated, and resentments grew until there was nothing left to salvage. The fairy tale was over. A new chapter. The man Pedro became. Today, Pedro Jimeno is no longer just a former reality TV star. He is a businessman, a man who rebuilt himself from controversy and speculation, determined to prove that he was more than the doubts that once surrounded him. But in achieving his dreams, he lost something precious along the way, his marriage to Chantel. Whether Pedro's story is one of redemption or betrayal depends on who you ask. To some, he is an opportunist who used love as a stepping stone. To others, he is the embodiment of ambition, a man who seized control of his destiny and refused to be defined by his past. One thing is certain. Pedro Ximénez's journey is far from over, and the world will be watching to see what comes next. Pedro and Chantel's love story had always been under scrutiny, but no one could have predicted the seismic downfall that awaited them. When Pedro finally filed for divorce, their split became a public spectacle, messy, bitter, and filled with accusations. Chantel didn't hold back, claiming Pedro had manipulated her from the very beginning, echoing the long-standing suspicions of her family. Meanwhile, Pedro positioned himself as a man who had simply outgrown the relationship. Their supporters clashed, some standing by Chantel, saying she had been right about him all along, while others defended Pedro. But neither of them foresaw that their divorce would ignite a chain reaction that would obliterate Pedro's entire life. Shortly after the breakup, an anonymous tip landed in the hands of immigration officials, alleging that Pedro's marriage to Chantel had been a sham from the start. Rumors swirled that it was Chantel's own family who had provided the damning evidence, exposing Pedro's true motives. The claim was simple yet devastating. Pedro had never loved Chantel. He had only loved the green card she could provide. Federal investigators launched a relentless probe, combing through every document, every interview, and every publicized moment of their relationship. They dissected footage from 90 Day Fiancé and the family Chantel, scrutinizing every argument, every declaration of love, every instance where Pedro's emotions seemed forced. Agents spoke to business partners, former neighbors, and even distant acquaintances, peeling back the layers of Pedro's carefully crafted American dream. Then the hammer fell. Pedro's green card was revoked. The court ruled that his marriage had been a fraudulent scheme to bypass immigration laws. Legally speaking, Pedro hadn't earned his right to stay in the U.S. He had twisted the system. The fallout was swift and brutal. Pedro's once thriving real estate career crumbled in a matter of days as clients backed away from the scandal-tainted agent. His professional reputation, meticulously built through years of effort, disintegrated overnight. His American life, the one he had fought to establish, was slipping through his fingers. But the nightmare wasn't over. With his legal status revoked, Pedro faced immediate deportation. The same country he had dreamed of calling home was now shutting its doors on him. Once a reality TV star, a man who had built his identity in the public eye, he was now an outcast, a cautionary tale of love, deception, and the unforgiving weight of the law. Pedro had played the game, but in the end, the game played him.